He's in year 3. I know as a former head coach, in year 3 is a critical year. This is like your 3-year plan for success. This is the year that most things come to fruition that you put into the goals and all the shit you set aside, the staff, everything that I wanted to do, the culture, everything. This is the year, Smitty. Like, this is the big jump year you should see. I might be different on this, Smitty, than people probably expect. But I'm curious to get your take on it. I know Bailey might pop in. He's got more insight. But high school wise, they lost the best recruit in Colorado. He went to Oklahoma, one of Matt's guys. So people are giving Matt shit. No, you don't put it.
Why'd you make him commit? Why you make him stay?
Yeah, so you got that side of it. Then you got like Deion's health. Let's be honest. Now they don't know. Where's his health? Is he coming back? Is this a plan because he wanted to get out after his sons played there and with Travis? Blah, 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 blah. So you have all this out there floating around. So I guess in that sense, breaking it down and Colorado probably could be in trouble. But I don't believe the casual Colorado Boulder fan from Colorado is that fan base. That's the problem. I don't think they have a real fan base. I think this fan base right now is prime and the prime sexuals. That's just my gut opinion. I don't think they have a true Colorado Buffalo fan base. That fan base goes away and only comes back when they're kind of like bad. That's unfortunate. That's just how it is. That's a lot of fan bases. I don't know if this is a big deal to me, Smitty, because I know how the recruiting works and how this thing unfolds. He doesn't go get high school kids anyway. But losing number 1 big time kids in Colorado, it's one thing, but maybe they don't look at them that same way. Maybe they don't think the kid's talented. Let's be honest. There's talent that's came out of Denver. Let's be honest. Denver's had talent, but they're not the hotbed in the nation of talent. Like I got to be honest with you. I understand there's been some couple running backs and Christian McCaffrey's there. His daddy played there. I don't know if he's really from there, but anyway, there's talent that's come out of Denver, but it's not like fucking a hotbed. It's not Florida and California and Texas. So I just want to be honest. So having said that, maybe they don't like him. Maybe they don't like the number 1 kid in Colorado. That happens. That shit happens, by the way. He may not fit his style, his program. I know they had some kids decommit on him. I know they had some kids transfer just like everybody else. He goes after the portal kids, Smitty. I'm not really going to hold too much to this, but I am going to hold the fact that I don't know if this program can be sustainable without big-time transfer portal kids every single year and build some sort of culture. But I've been saying that for 3 years. So that's still out there for me. I still want to see that, but I don't know if that landscape's going to allow it either. So I don't know. It's not a big deal to me, Smitty, for some reason, because he's got a good freshman queue. Yeah. If he keeps him and builds, he's got the transfer queue. You got transfer portal that's always going to be there now, fucking 4 times open a year or whatever the hell is ridiculous. I don't know, man. We'll see. This is the year, though, for me that decides his future.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I are on the same page with this, which is a shocker for me. But yeah, I don't look at this as a big deal either. It's like right now with the landscape, the way recruiting goes, I'm curious to know how many commits do a lot of these schools have, this early in the game. And then also on top of that, let's say they did have like 10 commits at this point. What does that mean? Because these kids are so fugazi. They commit one day, decommit the next, go here, go there. So like it doesn't even really matter in today's landscape because these kids are just they change their minds like they change draws. So for me, the concern is just his health. Like like if they're going to be in trouble, it's because his health and him not being able to be there and be the full energetic Coach Prime, Coach Deion Sanders that he is. So but if he can get that under taken care of, then I'm good. I'm not worried about this commits at all. I think they have a pretty solid team this year. And to your point, this is like the prove it year. It's like year 1 was like, all right, just getting your foot in the door. Year 2, we saw a lot of growth, but then you lost your son who's QB, you lost Travis Hunter. Now it was like, all right, let's see how really good of a coach you are without your son, without Travis Hunter. Like this is like that first class that he's had to like just completely recruit. There's no people that he brought along the journey from Jackson State. This is his doing. Now let's see how good you are. And there's a lot of talent on there on paper. Now it's a matter of can you put it all together? So I'm not concerned right now as far as the commits, but yeah, I am concerned about Deion's health. I will say that. I saw a video, was it last week? I think Lil Wayne stopped by to go visit him. It was real brief, but just saw him and Deion walking. I don't know. Deion looked a little skinny to me, but it was so quick, it's hard to tell. But I just hope he's okay, and that's where my concern comes in at.
Just for context, USC leads the pack. They got the number 1 recruiting class right now in 26. They got 31 commits.
Damn. Got you.
24-star, 10 3-star, 1 5-star. Now, Georgia's second with 27 commits. And then the list goes down. So everybody, A&M's 24, Notre Dame has 25, Alabama has 19, Ohio State has 21. But Alabama has 19, but they got 4 5-star.
Right.
The SC has 1 5-star.
The schools you're naming, these are the top dogs. You name it right here. So.
Then it goes Ohio State with 21. It's got Michigan with 20, Miami with 20, Clemson with 20, LSU with 14. But then they got, again, 10 4-stars, 1 fucking 5-star. Then Florida State has 22. Oregon has 14, but 3 5-stars. Texas has 17 with 2 5-stars. Penn State's got 25 commits already. And it goes all the way down, right? UCLA's got 21. North Carolina has 30 commits.
Bill Belichick.
But here's the problem, though. Commit means dick in college football now. I'm really not sold on commits and all that shit. Commit means nothing to me because these kids are, like you said, they're fucking fugazi anyway. They're going to bounce anyway. They're not even going to be there. I guarantee you 31 of these commits at USC, fucking 20 of them won't be there. And that's crazy. And so, I'm not holding too much weight to the high school class, but it is sad to see the high school class that's absolutely been just destroyed. High school football, its fabric has been destroyed because of recruiting and the portal plucking that we see going on. The true, blood life of the sport has been just dismantled, and we're losing a lot of good quality, organic, development. It's not there no more. You're not getting the high school kid. You're not getting the JUCO kid. The JUCOs are imploding. The high school's becoming just, I'm going to transfer 4 times to try to get a bag in high school now. So high school is going to become what college is right now. And then NFL is going to even get, I'm just telling you, dog, I've been saying it for years, but I'm just telling you, it's starting to line up really, really closely as I've been describing over the last few years. I'm telling you, it's crazy. But we'll see. We're interested, Smitty.
No, it definitely is, man. 100%, man. T's and P's up for Deion, and we shall see. We'll see what happens, man. If they have a good year this year, he comes back healthy, I think he'll have no problems getting in the transfer portal for next year and getting recruits. But
Bailey seems to think it's highly concerning.
Yeah, I see that in the chat. To me, you got to think though, if you're a high school kid, right, or anybody who's thinking about who's getting recruited or whatever, and you don't know the health of your head coach, why would I commit? Because let's knock on wood, but let's say worst case scenario, Deion has to leave, he can no longer coach. It's well, shoot, I'm gonna sit back and chill. So I think this health thing is a huge factor into kids being uncertain. You know what I'm saying? Because to your point, let's be real. Most kids ain't going to Colorado for the history of Colorado. They're going for Deion. So if Deion is sick, why am I going there? It's not like it's LA, some big city, or it's Colorado. I know it's Colorado, but like you said, it's not a hot spot people want to be at. So again, if the reason I'm going there is Deion and he's not healthy, then I probably don't want to go there. So I think once we get clarity on that, I think we'll see the numbers shift. That's just my opinion.
And you don't. So here's the other thing. You're not seeing every 5-second post, video clips, all the clipping, all the relevance that we've seen the last 2 years from walking down runways and shit and models in Paris to all the shit. You're not seeing no more. Now I get that the Suns and all that, but here's what a buddy of mine told me that's Colorado alum. He was like, yeah, but what does that say to the current kid? So you were all in making all this shit go viral and selling out spring games and ticket boosts and money and all the revenue that you've allowed. That's why you got paid, Deion. That's why Deion got the money. Let's be clear. I said it. I said, remember we had that whole is he worth it versus earned it deal.
I remember that, yeah.
But I'm saying, here's the issue, though. Like, he made a decent point. Are you just saying, fuck you guys now? We're not going to continue. That's not our brand? Or was it just a family brand? Was it just a family thing to post all this shit? Or are we going to do that for the program and whoever comes in it? Because I haven't seen it, Smitty. I might be wrong. I haven't been on social media, I guess, like that. But I haven't seen the barrage of fucking social media, of clipping, of the YouTubes, of all the shit. I haven't seen it. So I don't know if that doesn't mean it just was a lot more in the algorithm, I guess, the last couple of years. But I haven't seen it as much. So I'm curious because if you know how kids are, if you're spiteful because, it was only about his son, it was about Travis. Because they asked me that shit. They used to ask me that shit. Like, be real. Coach, you only fuck with Smitty? You don't fuck with me like that? Come on, dog. That's a real thing. Kids are fucking like they lost their daddy or they lost their fucking homie or their mentor. Nah, it's a real thing. If they get in their feelings, Smitty, they'll fuck around and start departing ways real quick because they're going to be like, you was just out for your kid. You was just out for your other son, Travis. You know, they call him the other son. So you're going to have all that hoopla in the locker room too.
Yeah. So if you're not doing it, but like, it's funny because I haven't seen them in my algorithm either. So I just did a quick Twitter search on their page just to kind of see if they're still doing content, and they are still doing content. But like, I just think, with them not having no real stars right now, it just people don't care because it's not a matter of what you're doing; it's who's doing it. So at the time, like you said, if Shador's walking on the runway, everybody's gonna make a big deal of it. If Shador makes a good throw in practice, oh my God, he's the Heisman winner. But like when it's just a regular guy at quarterback, when I say regular, I mean like from a superstardom standpoint, like just an everyday guy or whatever, nobody's gonna care. He can make the same throw. Nobody cares. It's just it's the person who's doing it, not the actual action of what they're doing. So they're still filming, still recording.
That's the point, though, Smitty. That's my point, though. Like, why was it only his kids getting that hype? Because they got a fucking highly touted freshman QB, dog, that I would be promoting like a motherfucker. Here's the thing. Deion brought his son in. He was in the Heisman consideration for a long time, and then all that, like you had all this accolades, you broke records at Colorado, you had Travis Hunter, all of that shit. You got to put your foot somewhere as a head coach. And I'm not going to tell Deion what to do as a head coach. What I'm saying is it quarterback? Is it corner? What is it going to be? And this is what I mean. What I mean is, are you going to be the new factory for this or this? Because you had your son, you pushed at quarterback. Now, if you don't continue that, and then you play DB, so Travis Hunter makes sense. You're the legendary best corner ever in football, blah, blah, blah. That one of these two things has to be your staple as your head coach. Because let's be honest, he's not the coordinator on offense. He's not the coordinator on defense. He's not like a Nick Saban, Pete Carroll, where he's known to be this schematical guru. He's a face. He's a figure. He's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. He's the best ever. He's all this other shit. He has an aura around him. He is prime time Deion Sanders. Like, so my point is, like, what are you going to hang your hat on? Because if it was your quarterback that you just had a successful run with your own son, and now you got Juju in here, fuck, man, I'd be pushing the shit out of Juju as the next
problem
best
is, though, Juju probably not about to start because they got the transfer. Who's his name? Was it Salter or whatever?
Yeah, but look what
good, too.
Yeah,
so it's like, I'm not about to be pushing my backup. It's kind of weird.
Compare this. Texas and Sark, who's a quarterback guy. Yep. And I'm not going to blame Deion for this because Deion's not a quarterback guy, but Deion understands he had a son that played it. He's been coaching 7-on-7 and all that shit through Dallas and all that shit through Texas with his kid. He's coached it, so he understands what he's doing. The thing I'm saying is, if you look at Sark, how much promotion and talk did you see with Arch Manning, homie? Even though, again, I compare that because Deion Sanders in prime.
No, great comparison.
Has a name and so does Manning.
But I don't think I disagree. I don't think Sark was the one pushing it though. I just think that us as fans were interested in the story of another Manning. We're interested in the story of Deion's son. It's not the schools pushing them more. It's we.
But I'm saying he was a backup. More. But he was a backup.
True, but I'm saying
you got to push Juju the same way.
The head coach can't control what we care about.
No. But they still did a lot. They still did. If you watch Texas, they had a bunch of shit promoted for Arch Manning, though. So, like, you still did some things. I think you should do that because Smitty, Sark knows what he's doing. Sorry. He's like, hold on. I don't want to lose this motherfucker. Think about it now. These kids leaving now like this, if they're, especially quarterback, when you got 2 big names and 3 big names, you're not staying there. So you got a transfer who might start, and then you got a big-time freshman. You got to promote the freshman today for tomorrow. Like, prep tomorrow today. Shit, I'm just saying. I haven't seen a lot of it that I'm used to seeing, and I would assume and think that he would be pushing that like in year 3, because at some times, many, in my opinion, something has to give. Meaning, okay, what is Deion Sanders as a head coach? Is he a program builder, or is he a program changer? And then he hops from program to program. I know how that is. I've been that guy. I was at 4 schools in 4 years as a coach when I was young, because that was the business. That was how the business worked. I got a call that offered me a better job. I got a call that went from quarterback coach to OC. I got a call from went to OC to head coach. It just happened to happen that way. I was a young hot thing in California in JUCO world and recruiting prowess, and they boosted me up year to year to year. So is Deion going to go from Colorado to Alabama? Like, that's coaching is. I'm not mad at it. I'm just telling you what's going to be his staple. Like, he's got to have something. Is he a culture builder? Is he just a program rebuilder? Or is he a program changer? Meaning, I changed the program. Thanks a lot. You paid me to do my job. I got you boosting sales. I'm out. Now I'm headed to Alabama. So, like, I'm cool with it either way, though, homie, because this is the business. It's always been that business. But the grown folks in the business should be the ones that are able to do so, though. And then I know you and Matt and everybody else compares that to the kids, where I'm always the guy on the other side. Like, nah, kids shouldn't have that right to do whatever the fuck they want to do at 17 years old. That's a whole nother story. We already had that debate, but that is why I think the head coach should be able to do what he's done. He's earned that right. The kid hasn't earned that right yet. Now, if you want to give him a one-time transfer like Smitty says, like we used to have, because the coach lied to you or something, I'm all for that. If the coach lied to you and all that shit, let him go. He should be able to go wherever he wants to go. I'm all for that. But I think it should only be once, though, because then it's going to be a crutch. And my coach left, then my next coach left, and then my next coach left. Nah, homie, you get one time, pick a fucking spot and sit with it. I'm just saying, Smitty, at some point we got to realize what is Deion. And I don't know if we know that right now today. Other than, I think if I asked you right now, you would be like, that's prime. That's Deion Sanders. Like, that's all we know. That's all we know. We don't know what he is. He's loses coaches, high turnover. That's coaching. I've always said it. I'm not tripping on the coaching world. He's went after some big name NFL guys to try to create an NFL atmosphere there, et cetera, et cetera. Zimmer didn't work too well. It's his boy, his mentor. Other guys moved back on to the NFL. I don't know if you have a definitive answer on what is Deion Sanders today as a head coach. Because if he leaves, everyone's going to fucking backstab him. Everybody out there that were prime sexuals are going to backstab him because they're going to say, oh, you were only there for your son. You ain't sick, blah, blah, blah. All that shit's going to come out next.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a bitch made. I'm not a bitch made cat to go out there and do all that bullshit. I'm just going to always be the same cat. And I've been saying it from the jump. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with them. Hopefully he's healthy and all that other shit. But I know when you amputate a foot, man, or toes, the next thing, it just trickles upwards, man. It's a bad business, and cold weather don't help either. And I've been saying that shit for 2 years on this show, but I hope he coaches. I do want to see year 3. I want to see what he's actually created there. But you can't be gone this long and continue
to like build culture, right?
Because everyone's now going to forget about it. It's like, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, I mean, he has to be there for camp. Like, so that's the main thing. So, right now it's kind of like, I don't know if I'm assuming they're still in Colorado right now, but I'm assuming they're going to have like a week off here soon, and then they'll come back and then it'll be camp probably towards the end of the month. So we're right around the thick of things. Like I said, right now they're doing a lot of just, summer workouts, stuff like that. So it's not the end of the world right now, but we're getting to that point where it's like, all right, coach, you got to be here. This is the time when you have to be here. So we'll see, man. Like you said, we got to sit back and wait. But like you said earlier, we're what, 8? You said 8 weekends away from football? What was that?
Yeah.
That was NFL, I think you're talking about, right? Or was that college?
College.
That was college. So 8 weekends away. So like we're right around the corner. So and that's for the season. That's not for camp and like getting ready. So we got to see, man. And obviously I'm rooting for him. So go from there.
I'm not rooting for him, but I've always had great ties to Colorado, great friends to Colorado. We've had Chad Brown on, obviously one of my best friends is a Colorado legend. Like the bottom line is I've always had we've had a ton of California kids that have made Colorado what Colorado is to this day. Colorado has lived off California kids. We've always been, so is Oklahoma and Nebraska, contrary to everyone's belief. So those 3 teams who basically ran college football for, late 80s, early 90s, are all California kids. Compton, LA, IE, San Diego. That was what Colorado, Oklahoma, and Nebraska's roster was comprised of. I mean, it just is what it is. And the bottom line is, Smitty, I don't know in this current landscape, do you really have a recruiting hotbed? Do you have I go here to get mine? Everyone in the country, if you go look around, where is Texas's recruit? Where is like the Longhorns? Where is their bread and butter? Where are they guaranteed to go lock down their kids? California, SC, UCLA, everyone should, Ohio State, Michigan, everybody, Penn State, right? Everybody should have their like, all right, this is our spot, dog. We get the modern day kid at SC. We get them kid. Like Pete Carroll got those kids. Like it was a guarantee. He got those kids. All that type of shit. I don't know if Colorado has that. Colorado don't have that right now. And I'm not picking on Colorado. I don't know who has that anymore because of how crazy this portal is, how crazy college football landscape has become. I don't know if anybody has that anymore. So I don't know. Like, where's Ball State? Where was their bread and butter? Where'd they go to guarantee? Warren Central? Was it? Did they go out of state? Was like some schools like Ohio, Michigan, by the way, is a hotbed. Been in Pennsylvania for a long, long time. They go grab Pennsylvania guys. Ohio State's been in Pennsylvania school for a long time. Eddie George and all those guys, Philadelphia kids. New Jersey, we had a crazy pipeline in New Jersey for some reason at SC. Not we, but I'm talking LA.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll had some crazy connection with SC in New Jersey for some reason. Because if you get one big time player out of that city or state that's not very big, like New Jersey, then the rest of the kid, Brian Cushing went out to SC and that motherfucker was a dude,
right?
And now the next best thing out of New Jersey, when you get a chance, you get him.
Yeah, 100%. I remember one of my teammates. He went to Virginia Tech. We were all young. We were like, "Oh man, let's go to Virginia Tech." It was like a big deal for us at the time. So. Yeah. You're absolutely right about that. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder, I mean, earlier you named off some of these schools that have like 30 recruits or commits already, 25, the Georgias. I wonder if those schools still kind of have like their go-to spots and stuff like that. I'd be surprised like Georgia probably still dominating some areas in the South, I'm sure. And they got some go-to spots on, because some of these schools, these blue buds, like kids still care about that. As much as the transfer portal is a thing, and it is, these kids still like, if you say you play at Georgia, that still means something. If you play the LSU, that means something. Bama, like that still holds weight.
Let me give you, here's 31 commits. I'll just run down the list real quick. So they got a quarterback out of Illinois, out of Frankfort, Illinois. USC does. Who committed on signing day in February. Actually, on my birthday, February 21st, he committed. You got Deshaun Rideau. He's from Westlake Village right here in California. Then you got another kid from Plainsville, Ohio. Then you got a DeSoto, Texas kid, a wideout. Mm-hmm. Then you got a Rancho Santa Margarita kid, buddy of mine's son, Trent Mosley, right here in Rancho Santa Margarita. You got another Sherman Oaks, Notre Dame kid, Sherman Oaks, the Valley. You got a kid out of Louisiana. Then you go back to the Valley in Chatsworth, back to Mater Dei. So they got Mark Bowman, the big-time tight end, the 5-star tight end out of Mater Dei. Then they go Bradenton, Florida, IMG Academy kid. Then they got the other O tackle, the 6'7", 275 kid out of Folsom here in up north in California. Mm-hmm. Then they got a Littleton, Colorado kid out of Valor Christian, who Matt and everybody understands Valor Christian is one of the best schools in Denver and in Colorado. 6'6", 260 kid, a 3-star. They got him out of Colorado's backyard. Right here at SC. How did you out-recruit Deion Sanders at SC from L.A. if the culture – that's all I'm trying to sell you. But I go down this list, though.
But, I mean, you can do that a lot. I mean, like, if you go to –
that's what I'm saying, though.
There's Indiana kids that didn't go to IU and went to somewhere else, or Ohio kid that shows Michigan or Ohio State and vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
all I'm saying is the 5-star Bowman at Mater Dei was leaving to Alabama, Colorado. He was leaving LA 2-3 years ago under Lincoln Riley when he first got there.
Right.
And that's why SC's been shitty. You have to lock down your 5-star dog in your home city. You have to, or you're never going to be successful. That's just how I see it. Now, guess what? Lincoln Riley, number 1 recruiting class. Bowman, the best player in California. Number 1 tight end. Guess what happens? He locked them. Well, apparently. We'll see. But, nowadays, you don't. Back in the day, commit means we got him.
Yeah.
Nowadays, he might be at Colorado. So you don't know anything. So what I'm saying is, though, Colorado's got to lock down their best player in their state. And they haven't been able to do that for whatever reason. Maybe Deion don't like him. It is what it is. I've had those situations, too. You didn't want to get him, and I walked in like, motherfucker, shitty. And people look at me like, damn, he's a 5-star. I'm like, motherfucker, he ain't my 5-star. So I feel Deion on that too. Deion could totally be like, this motherfucker's in Colorado. He ain't playing nobody. He's shitty. So, and I'm not even going to go into depth, but I know some coaches on that staff that
shoot,
that think that way a little bit too. By the way,
yeah.
And I know that to be fact. But I'm just saying, you never know, Smitty. That's all I'm saying. You never know how this thing works. But I just know this: they're the last recruiting school. They're number 16 out of 16 teams in their own conference. So 5 commits.
Not a good thing.
And the next thing, the next 12 commits is the lowest by Houston in that conference.
Closest one, yep.
They got 7. They got 7 less than that.
Listen, it's not a good thing, but I'm still gonna stand by. I'm not concerned. Again, I just think we need an update on Deion's health.